Hey, good people. Mark Holmes, of course, with Chef David Wiley. We're in the kitchen, and we're about an hour and 15 minutes away from kickoff of the Super Bowl. And in the kitchen here doing a little bit of cooking and stuff. And I want to answer a question that David had and share with you guys. Because David, we were discussing, because like Brian Broda said, you know, maybe the Cowboys need to just let the Dak Prescott contract ride and just not re-sign him. He says, because in some regards, he said the Cowboys, I'm going to summarize this, they're in purgatory because they're not bad enough to really get a lot of great players, and they're not good enough to compete as they're currently constructed. And so here's my take on this, okay? And I was saying to David, I said, let me ask you this. As I look around and people say Dak Prescott can't win it, right? So I think about teams like the Giants that just paid Daniel Jones $40 million. Do we think Daniel Jones is capable of doing it?
Nope.
Okay. I think about Trevor Lawrence, who was the number one pick in the draft, and how their team had a chance to be the number one seed, but went boom. As the ladies on here say, don't want no soft men. They kind of went downhill and went through. So do we think that Trevor Lawrence, who was the number one pick, if he would be a better option for the Cowboys? 21 turnovers. Right?
Right.
Justin Herbert, he got the bag this year too, and at 52 or 53 million. And you looked at him where we said, now he's got Kellen Moore. He's got a real quarterback. And he had guys like Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler and everything else. How did he do?
Yeah, Kellen Moore too.
And Kellen Moore. How did he do? Do we look and say, if we just had Justin Herbert? And so as I look around, my thing was, which is easier? Is it easier to get a quarterback that's elite that can take you there? Because the only one I see that is honestly the game changer right now is Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes. And even though Lamar Jackson's won his second MVP, I hate to tell you, he's won one playoff game. Or, I'm sorry, 2 playoff games. So he's not the answer. So the bigger question is this. This is a real question now. Dak haters, answer this truthfully. Which is easier, to get a Pat Mahomes or a great running back? David?
Running back.
Okay. Which is easier, get a edge rusher or a great quarterback?
Edge rusher.
Okay. Which is easier, get a linebacker or a great quarterback?
Linebacker.
Okay.
So what do you do with Van Der Esch?
Van Der Esch is already done. Van Der Esch is crippled. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. But Van Der Esch, I don't think he's going to be able to play. If he can, great. But that can't be. You look at that and say, if we get anything out of him, then that's a bonus. Yeah. But don't plan on getting anything out of him. And that's the same way you look at Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, if you bring him back, you say, okay, if he can play half the games, great, but I've got another plan just in case. So here's my thing. Before everybody says, just get rid of the quarterback, because you can get rid of the quarterback, but here's the thing. You still got to get a running back. You still got to get another edge rusher. You still got to get help on the defensive line. You still have to get a linebacker. So now we're going to add into it a quarterback too? How about this? Just humor me for a second. This is just, dreaming for a second here. What if the Dallas Cowboys said, you know what? We're going to sign Derrick Henry. He'll probably be about $7 million or so, right? Do you think that would help the running game there, David?
Yeah.
Do you think that would help the quarterback because they could be more balanced?
He'd be open.
Okay, right? And so when you needed that short yardage, like or Tony Pollard, instead of trying to cut in and getting stopped at the goal line, I think Derrick Henry might be able to get in. So I think that would be a big positive to help Dak Prescott. What if you also went through and you traded for Stephon Diggs, and you put Stephon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb over there, and maybe you keep a Brandon Cooks, right? Right? You could do that. So if you put Stephon Diggs there and Derrick Henry on that offense, what do you think that would do?
That would be a lot better for us right now.
That would definitely help, because you know what? Nothing calms a quarterback down than a good running game. That's what they ended up doing with Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen, they were looking like ass there. They started out, they lost early, and then they started winning like crazy. And then Josh Allen started doing Josh Allen things and started throwing interceptions. And then they got a different offensive coordinator who started using the run. Yeah, they only threw the ball 16 times against us. So they realized this is the winning formula for us. We need to be balanced. Okay, here's the other move. What if, instead of us going through and doing bargain basement shopping with linebackers, where we ended up using a number 1 pick for Leighton Vander Esch, we ended up using a number 2 pick for Jalen Smith, right? Jalen Smith. And we've gone through and we've signed guys like Damian Wilson a second time that didn't do anything. We go out and we get guys like Anthony Barr. What if you decided we're going to go with young guy who is proven, only 24 years old, free agent, Patrick Queen.
He's only 24?
He's only 24.
Oh, man.
Gets about 100 plus tackles a season.
Yeah.
Do you think that would help our runs game?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, so if you make those 3 moves.
He got Dominican
Okay.
Susan out there, too.
Huh?
Dominican Susan out there.
Nah, he's too old. I'm done with old people. Okay, so if you just make those 3 moves in free agency, okay? One's a trade, and the other 2 are signings. Then you end up having your draft picks that maybe you go ahead and say, I'll take the best player available, and maybe it's a left tackle. Maybe it's another defensive lineman. If you can find those 2 guys in the draft, this team is totally different. A defensive lineman, another guy to fill in for Tyron Smith. The thing is as we're sitting here talking about trying to find a quarterback, your quarterback's okay if you get the people to go around him. And it's not like you've got to just start all over. Yeah. We're talking about those 3 moves right there. Ooh. Those 3 moves would make this team a very, very scary team. So, and I could be really crazy and say, what if the Cowboys decided to try and trade, which would be Philly's worst nightmare, for Hassan Reddick? Philly would really go crazy then.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah. He definitely would want to take another nap. So that's my whole process here, guys. I've seen where the Colts decided, you know what? We're going to go with the young guy. We're going to go with Andrew. We're going to draft Andrew Luck, and we're going to move on from Peyton Manning. How many more Super Bowls have they won with that philosophy? And Peyton Manning, I believe, went to 2, winning 1. Follow what I'm saying here? I can hear you guys now. Oh, you're not going to compare Dak Prescott, that trash-ass quarterback, to Peyton Manning. Yes, actually I am. Because Peyton Manning had some years where he had like 29 interceptions in a season. So take that. And it took many, many years before he finally got there.
Yep.
All right, good people. And your thoughts on everything I just put out there? Am I crazy or just plain stupid?
No, you ain't crazy. It's just, you got to pull the trigger, man. That's what I said at the game. It had to happen. Something had to happen for him to realize he had to do something other than what he's doing.
Who's that? Jerry?
Yeah.
Jerry ain't going to do anything. Jerry just likes pulling our chains. Jerry's getting exactly what he wants. All day, every day, we're talking about the Cowboys and what Jerry's going to do.
Right.
All right, let me go get this grill heated up in the rain. I saw you and him walking in the rain. You were cooking sausage, and I will never be the same. Yeah, peace.